What's going on? Go Long Studios here with Dennis Sullivan. How we doing today, bud?
I'm great, man.
Well, so am I. I'm excited. Dennis and I met at an event a couple Sundays ago. I was just walking through, and I think we were about to walk out. I just said, that hat's fire. Like, that hat is absolutely fire. It was my good friend Melvin's birthday, and that was just the perfect gift for him. So Dennis and I linked up. Melvin just fell in love with it. I FaceTimed him while he was in Jamaica, and he was just like, dude, that's awesome. And so my wife's like, get him on the podcast, get him on the show. So I'm excited. Welcome, and looking forward to today's conversation, man. So what got you started? After going and perusing through the Instagram, I noticed like photography was kind of your major trade, right?
That was my main thing, man. It's still my main thing.
Nice.
Photography's definitely opened up a lot of different doors for me.
Yeah.
Where I can start to stretch out a little bit.
Yep.
The hats came about because I wanted to style my models.
Yeah.
So wanted to add some product to what it was that I pretty much was already doing.
Yeah.
And it just kind of took over.
Dude, custom hat making, I mean, it's just gotten real popular now, right? And how long have you been doing it?
I wouldn't say too long, man. I have been doing it myself for about 8 months now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Did you have a mentor to kind of like lean on and?
So I'll tell you this. I used to live in San Antonio.
Okay.
And there was a woman who had a brand, and she made hats as well. So
okay.
I was inspired. I was able to kind of get hands on with it a little bit, but at that time I was respecting people's lane, things like that.
Well, sure.
She started to transition. She started opening up a different business, and I was sort of just figuring out like, okay, what are we going to do with it? Because I know my people really, really love this stuff.
Well, for sure.
I want to bring it back out. So yeah, I had some inspiration, some mentorship from it. Yeah. She
saw you take a shine to it and kind of, pass the torch on, right?
Yeah.
And so, was it before that you noticed custom hat making versus the mass production of hats? I mean, even though there's, these very expensive custom made hats, but people are just gravitating more to the custom because, I mean, I think the whole process for you is a custom process, right?
Yeah, it's seamlessly a whole creative custom process. Wow.
Yeah. So, material selection, quality, the embellishments. We were talking about one earlier, and I myself, I'm going to be building a custom one, and you had a cool idea where it was, you used one of your old ties and kind of frayed it up to give it some good aesthetic and a nice accent piece to this. So when the process, beginning to end, someone wants to make one, we were talking about like kind of like letting the artist spread their wings,
right?
And then also getting to know your customers to make it personable. I mean, tell me what that process looks like, beginning to end.
Man, of course, you ask them what kind of shape they want, so you start there. If they want a pinch crown or more of a bowl style round crown, kind of go with that. And then it kind of goes into just asking them some stories. Tell me about yourself a little bit, colors that you may be attracted to.
Okay.
If they have like something near dear, like a tie.
Yep.
If they want to implement something like that,
nice.
You can always get creative with it. It's always fun because being an artist, you get that canvas, and sometimes you get a creative block. Right. But then also you get those little things. Me, I'm a little different as a creative.
Okay.
Direction is good.
Okay.
So you give me some like things, I'm the dot connector. I'm like
nice.
The Lego man. So if you give me the layout, I'll block it all together.
There you go. Yeah. And that's to me, it seems like then the whole process is a collaborative effort between you and your clients, right?
So
Rodeo's coming up, I know you're a big part and involved in the rodeo. When I was kind of going through the Instagram, there were just some really cool shots back to your models and whatnot. That, you know, how big of a part of that is for your branding, and are you looking forward to kind of expanding your network and your client base through the rodeo? Is that kind of one of the goals? But you also do some really cool stuff with the kids too on the rodeo.
Yeah. So just to start with it, the rodeo, I really was interested. My lifestyle is sort of kind of catered around that. My uncle, we have horses and stuff like that. So the lifestyle has been a part of my life. So I really,
baby, huh?
Yeah. So I really wanted to just be a part of the rodeo.
Yeah.
Just to get connected, be in that space, be able to tell my story to my kids one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like my business and stuff, of course, I want to build those connections. Yeah. You got a lot of people who wear hats down there. You know, it's a lot of competition, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just get in there.
Yeah. So, I mean, you see it now, and I'm sure as all the rodeos you've been to, there's so many people there that I think you have such a good target market, because they're the types, you know, where, like me, honestly, put that hat on once a year. But something like this,
right?
I can wear it to the rodeo, but I mean, I can wear it out. It's a daily, you know. Especially with, you know, this style right here, that brim. I mean, this one could be rodeo too, but I think we were talking about it earlier. It's like, man, that's a clean with, you know, pair of some indigo jeans or a suit, you know. There's the versatility. And tell me a little bit about how each hat has a name. I noticed that was really cool when we were placing these out. You were kind of going through and every single one had a name. So what's the involvement of getting these hats names, or does it just kind of come to you as you're making them?
It comes to me as I make them. That's just pretty simple. Based off the styles, and just to really understand like my brand and my touch. It's a mix of the creative, of course, but I want it to be more of a everyday look, right?
Sure.
Giving you that versatility, of course. And of course, like this one right here, it's like a tuxedo. You know? You could wear it if you could dress it up, dress it down. I'm the type of person where I wear cowboy boots with shorts.
There you go.
Hat.
He's a true cowboy when they do that.
So, you know, just kind of the names come naturally. Yeah. If I have already an inspiration involved when I'm crafting them, it sort of kind of goes in that way. Like my first collection was a palmy collection. So those were those greens that you see.
Yeah.
And based off of the palm and just the longevity aspect of it and things. And then,
very nice.
You know, you have the unity. Yeah. Unity bands. And so, yeah.
Tell me about that unity band. I thought that post was that one grabbed me when I was scrolling through your Instagram. We'll put it up, you know, you're at, so everyone else can go check out your photography skills. But the unity band, that was on that carousel post. Tell me a little bit about that, because that has some meaning to you, and I think it's really cool.
Well, you know, that it being Black History Month, it was definitely something that I wanted to put out. Yeah. To kind of symbolize that. But it was more than just Black history.
Yeah.
It's all through culture, the mix, being in America, things like that. We come together. My brand and my artistry and where I've been, I've always been in very diverse markets. So just understanding the connection that everyone has together.
Sure.
I knew that it was going to be really important for me to create a brand that speaks that. Yeah. You know, I didn't want it to be just for specific people. Yeah. I wanted it to be for people who believed that it was for them.
For everybody.
Right.
And that's really what the persona of your hats that I really noticed first, is that they're for everybody.
And for everyone.
Anyone can grab one. Anyone can find it and adapt it to their style. Right. And that's what's so dope about your brand, man. So, you know, in back to that, in the culture now, you're seeing them in the in the movies, and say a lot of that you're seeing now just in pop culture in itself, right? They're making a comeback. the personalization is really what grabs me, and I think it's just a way to kind of put that person's brand on a lid, you know?
Yeah. The film industry is huge right now, even on the smaller markets.
Yeah.
Hats, they're definitely exploding in a whole different type of way. Especially fedoras. We're, I guess I could say my generation, we're starting to grow up a little bit, and so we want to change our style up and things like that. And so hats give that.
Yeah.
And these hats are very empowering, right?
Yes.
So I definitely see that evolving a little bit as far as like the style and the culture. It's always been a thing. Like you seen Run DMC,
Yeah.
you know, the hip hop culture. He had them.
They had that fedora always.
Denzel and Spike, that Malcolm movie. That's really what. So I watched that so many times.
Yeah.
When they had that scene out of the barbershop, the suit, the big feather.
Same boat, swimming if I can't float. With it, take the paper, rip it, clean slate. Here we go, dropping like Geronimo. Popping Tropicana flows, boats till we bubble up. Undercover, they don't know. Same boat. Running like you same boat. Running like you same boat. Running like Usain Bolt, swimming if I can't float. With it, take the paper, rip it, clean slate. Here we go, dropping like Geronimo. Popping Tropicana flows, boats till we bubble up. Undercover, they don't know. Running like Usain Bolt, swimming if I can't float. With it, take the paper, rip it, clean slate. Here we go, dropping like Geronimo. Popping Tropicana flows, boats till we bubble up. Undercover, they don't know.
Yeah, and the big feathers in the hat versus that we're talking with the pimp hats like peacocky way up there. As you take a look at some of these, I mean these are feathers. It looks like you found while you were riding the horses with the vamp.
Yeah, pick them up off the horse.
Yeah, man. I mean, so with that being said, I think movies, music, the rodeo, it's all kind of just tied it in together, and it's another way for those people to kind of make that individual statement.
Yeah.
And you were talking kind of about your generation and as you guys are kind of growing up. So, talk a little bit about that.
It's just a lot of, people are starting to change their style a bit, and the hats give that flavor, right?
Sabor.
And you can tell a lot through it. So it's just really fun to see people starting to really catch on. A lot of people who weren't necessarily hat wearers in the first place. So it's really cool to see it.
100%. If it gives you something that's much more versatile, right? And as we were talking, you're seeing a more again back to that personalization. Reauxmonde, I mean, it talk a little bit about the brand itself, the process. I mean, it's your call sign, it's yours, but it's also the individuals. These embellishments are so cool. Each one's different, right? When that client sits down. So the process beginning to end, what does that look like with these clients?
So yeah, just goes in a little bit of understanding the style and the shape. A lot of people, I feel, would gravitate a lot more to the bowl style, the round top.
Yeah.
Out of the people that I've been going to, they really love that. And then you have your traditional pinch crown, and then your guinea pig Rodeo. So it kind of it really depends on the person. Everybody has very unique perspectives.
Yeah.
So asking them a few things about what they want to implement and what they would see on the hat, and then you kind of work with them, right? Just so like, okay, well, I have this ribbon or this band or these feathers would really go with you. So yeah, sort of just conversation.
I know. And the guinea pig, like that's the style. So is there an origin behind it that you know that you heard, or was it just like I heard guinea pig, so that's what I'm rolling with?
I heard guinea pig. And, you know, that there was different ways how they bend the hats, the crowns for the cowboy hats, and they said this fatter version, taller crown is just guinea pig. So I
love it.
All right, cool.
I love it, man. You know, because like there's the cowboy. It has that like trough or canal, but it still doesn't have that crease. What was that one called?
Man, I can't recall.
It has that little lip around, but it's still sunk. And it's like the rider hat or the cowboy. I love it. There's so many different styles. But what really blew me away when we were first setting up and everything is what you were telling me about. I thought that they had like cardboard underneath them, and then the felt was over it. And you were telling me, dude, it's straight up.
It's fur. It's real
wild.
Fur. So these are authentic. So when you have 500X, 10X, things like that, 100X, it's just the different quantity of like how much they pack that fur in. So, okay. It's just the difference of that. But this is real fur, like sort of like this rug on a fleet. I know you probably can't see it, but they get that. They send it through like a soaking process. They stretch it, pull it, damp, all that, harden it up, steam it multiple times.
Oh man.
So yeah.
that sounds like right there. Your patience is one trait, if not the most important for hat making, right? Time, patience, doing it right. Which, for a budding hat maker, what would you recommend as far as learning the craft? Is it, are there good resources or in person, looking over a shoulder, getting your hands dirty? I mean, I know how you learned, which, you had that mentor kind of, and then what's the best way to learn this craft? Because it looks so difficult.
Yeah, it's not easy. Sure, having a mentor.
Yeah.
And even if you don't, go into some hat stores, feel the product, ask questions.
Yeah.
That's going to be your best bet. I personally feel.
Yeah.
Online, you can kind of get a lot of inspiration.
Yeah.
But as far as like really knowing the process, understanding how these things start to finish are made.
Yeah.
Even just asking them, hey, where do you get the best quality materials from? You're going to get that in person all the time.
And everybody's different, right? I mean, everyone's going to give you a different answer.
Yeah.
Understanding the why by understanding the person, that lets you kind of become yourself on, what selections you're making and why too.
Yeah.
When we were, back to the rodeo, that would be a great spot for someone to go to and watch some of these cats do their thing with those hats, right? I mean, when they're steaming it, that's like even just a skill that is massively like or income potential, right? I mean, I was hearing this one kid, I think it was like Fort Worth during their when that the Red River shootout like game's going on. There's one cat that goes out there and makes 6 figures in a weekend shaping hats.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I love it. I love the steam.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Tell me a little bit. I know Pablo is really interested in it. What kind of is with the equipment that's used? Is there multiple tools or is it?
No, it's one thing.
The one all be all.
So there's different levels of steamers, right? Like you can get the portable one. You can go on Amazon. It'll cost you about like, I don't know, $200.
Yeah.
It's just like a little plastic container. You fill it up and that's the fog, right? And that's really cool. Or what I used when I started was a one of those steamers that you iron your shirt
Yeah, like a suit steamer where you're hanging it
Those
up.
work just as well.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? You may have to sit it under there a little bit longer, but it works. It's the same thing. Yeah.
So is that part of the maintenance once we purchase your hat? Like, is there, a steaming regimen, or do people bring it back to you to get it done?
So I do have some people that come back and say, hey, I want to kind of reshape this and spruce it up. So I do have a few of those people, but a lot of times people like the aging of their hats.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
that patina, baby.
Right. So it's sort of, it's a thing for it to kind of bend and shape over time.
It's its own vibe.
People like that.
Yeah.
And that's becoming a style. So
yes, sir.
I'm not getting too many people who are coming to get reshaped.
And now that I know it's not cardboard.
Yeah, it's not cardboard.
It makes it so.
Not a real hat if it's cardboard.
But now, let me ask you, are there like some of the cheaper versions out there that do that?
There are cheaper versions, but I don't know too many of it being cardboard though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just my silly thought. I'm like, oh yeah, you just, you got your cardboard, you put it on there, and then you just wrap the felt over it. So what's the most fun animal hair or felt that you've worked with on these?
Beaver.
And that's kind of the industry standard, right?
That's the industry standard. I mean, that's the easiest to probably get your hands on.
Yeah.
Rabbit is expensive. So
rabbit is expensive. Like they call it HARE, like the hair, kind of thing. Nice. Dude, we were kind of watching that video, and as far as the style of hats, right?
Yeah.
And I think, part of your plans are, as evolving for the brand. We're talking about those old school 1800s or like early 1900 baseball caps. Tell me a little bit about, because those look fire.
So those are different, man. That's a new thing.
Starting to see it again, right?
That's pretty cool, and I will be trying that.
Yes.
I don't know when, but I'm gonna try it because I love how unique it is, and then also the materials of way. I used to own so many different new era hats.
Yes.
So like I understand how big it is to invest in something like that.
That's true.
And I respect that. So it's dope to see some people taking that chance and,
and bringing it back.
That's dope.
It's straight up, like, imagine almost one of
like any shape.
Yeah.
Any
shape. The round, the flat.
Baseball, yeah.
And then the baseball brim.
Yeah.
Are they wearing those backwards or forwards on those? And I mean, how big do you think that brim is?
I mean, you can wear it
however the hell you want, right?
Yeah.
Nice, dude. So back to the making, how long, on the process, on a custom hat, what's the expectation? Someone hits you up and, they're wanting to just go fully custom. Beginning to end, I'm not, no one's going to hold you to it, but what do you see that process typically taking, or is it based on complexity?
From start to finish, from a consultations, a lot of times it could take us about 30 minutes to really talk. And then I go ahead and sit down, show them the materials, things like that. So a good 30, 40 minutes of a conversation, kind of get some ideas. A lot of times people who've come to me, they've seen my styles and they're like, hey,
I'm going to let you do you.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't get too much of that, but it could probably take me a good 2-3 days to really like get the actual final product to get to be to where it needs to be, as far as the shaping, the putting the bands on, the embellishments. So a good 24, 48 hours solid.
Dude, that ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. So is it like, your setup? Is it a workshop full-fledged? Or is it like, all right, this process is done in this over here?
Hey, listen, y'all know Steve Jobs, right?
Hell yeah.
The garage.
There you go, baby.
It's real. Start where you can start, man. I'm out of my house right now, bro. So
that's awesome.
Working towards the studio.
And so being a photographer, that's another thing. When I was looking at the Instagram, some of these shots were just epic, and I knew you were fired up about the rodeo. So, you're going to be out there taking some shots. Everybody look for them because cook off. But I mean, you're there, cook off all the way till, last day, huh?
Much.
Nice. And the other technique, if it's done in the garage, warn them. But the fire, we were talking about fire earlier. That's another cool process in addition to the steam.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. I know that's a trade in itself too.
It's definitely, now that's another level.
Yeah.
So like my hats, people like the fur like feel. Because I presented that, I haven't done too much of the fire.
Yeah.
Because of where I live.
Yeah. It's like, I do not want to burn up my house.
and I definitely need to get my own space so that I can go ahead and do more fire. But it's a tricky process, man.
What is it? Tell everybody about a little bit about what that does, because you were saying, the fur and that fresh feel, that texture.
Mm-hmm.
That's, does the fire just kind of speed up the patina process? Is a little bit about what characteristic it adds?
Yes and no, but it's really just to burn off the extra little specks and stuff off the hat. That's really what it is.
Okay. Yeah, so you see it, kind of like in some of the hat maker Instagrams, like they'll throw a little fire in there. Yeah. Maybe more for show, right?
It is definitely more of a show thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, who out there, when we were talking about all the merge and the rise of these custom hats, who out there right now would you say just has their hat game on point, and why? I know you've got somebody that you just, you kind of see that style and you gravitate towards it.
Okay. Well, I'm a little bit of a rebel.
Okay, I love it.
I'm going to share it with you. So I'm the type of person where if I see it, I'm seeing what I'm not going to.
I love it. I love it.
Right?
I love it.
And I'd probably say the most creative hats that I've seen that I have been kind of paying attention to are those Mashikas, Cam's hats, right?
Yep.
But I definitely, I've been learning, and even with my photography, I learned to have my own style. Right? So I pay attention, I educate myself on who's out there and things like that. But then I say, okay, I don't necessarily want to put that. Like, I wasn't really big on cards in the hats.
Yeah.
I wasn't really big on that.
Yeah. You kind of like, I think it's maybe a little played out or what, but I mean,
like
it just wasn't you.
I wanted to stand out a little bit differently, even with feathers too. Like, I didn't always do feathers. Mm-hmm. I wanted to have charms and different things like that, the buttons, and so kind of change it up. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I know I'm going to be getting one. And it's really cool how you were mentioning photography, and for all those photographers out there that don't know this already, photography is a gateway into other hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
It can get you anywhere, access to what you want, as long as you just hone in on it.
Yeah.
And that's just what's so badass. That's what I love about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to, potentially collaborating with you. And I mean, it just product photography. And how fun is that? You started making hats because you wanted to add a little bit of flavor to your photos, right?
Yeah.
So portrait photography is your gig?
It's definitely been my gig, yeah. And I've been doing my fair share of product photography for some clients.
Nice.
Just did some candles and stuff, so yeah.
Oh, there you go. And I think just the versatility and how you can kind of add embellishments to the photograph of the triangle, like, and all about the spacing, because myself, telling you, it was very hard with food, or specifically Wagyu, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I got to add some depth to it and whatnot. But it was fun putting this wall together and then how we had kind of staged it.
Nice.
So, that being said, I loved how you had names for these hats. You know, when we were talking about that, and I think what's cool about it is as I look at these, I think each one has a little piece of you and, you know, potentially what's in there that's going to grab the client. So it's kind of a unity in itself. But we were talking about that unity band. Tell me a little bit about that, man, because that post was insane. When we were looking through there, and what kind of significance it had to it.
I appreciate you for saying that.
Yeah,
because I know it's important to like teach people and
for sure
educate them.
Yes,
right. And with that unity band, it really was just to symbolize how diverse this brand really is. This wasn't just for a specific type of person. It is for people who really believe that it's for them.
right?
So I wanted to make sure that it communicates that anybody can come and be a part of this. And the unity band, that being Black History Month, I didn't want to just like stick on that, but of course celebrating the indigenous and, you know, our culture and evolution, but then also representing us as a whole.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what that was.
It's a great foundation for it. And back to that, it's just really cool because I think what your hats provide is the what do you call them? The weekend warriors that go get that hat, that spend a lot on that hat, and wear it one weekend a year,
Mm-hmm.
and come and get a custom hat that you're going to want to wear every weekend of the year. You know, it's so versatile, the style, but I also think it makes people almost. I say it's a gateway for people to go out there and challenge themselves and creatively think, you know what, I'm going to wear this with that because it's going to pop, and the hat gives them that confidence, you know.
It's great because it's very similar to photography as well.
Yep.
When you get people in front of the camera, they get to see themselves a lot differently than what they normally see them. And with the hats, it definitely helps them enhance the way of how they carry themselves.
Yes.
How they even speak to others.
You see it.
Right. So
You see it.
it's an act of bearing fruit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And you know, social media is an important part of you know, branding and getting yourself out there these days.
Yeah.
With that being said, you know, how do you utilize and leverage it? It looks like you've done a great job at melding, you know, the photography and the hats together to kill two birds with one stone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tell me a little bit about your approach to social media, but you know, how important it is to your brand and how you leverage it.
So it's really great. Of course, you gotta have your cleanses. Okay, so
You gotta have what?
have your cleanses.
Okay.
But social media has definitely been a very valuable tool.
Mhm.
I really love the aspect of that you can put the product details on there so people can actually see the prices and the name.
Yeah.
And then they can click and request. So that's really great. But for me right now, I've learned delegation, expanding, allowing others to put it out. So I have ambassadors, right?
Yeah. I mean, people out there, you know, the power of the referral is insane, right?
Crazy.
Two, letting them advocate on your behalf. Touch on that, man, because you know, before it was you used to do it, what, even a year ago, 2 years ago, it was, here's my Instagram, got a link to my website up here that I hope you click.
Mm-hmm.
But there's now commerce built into it.
Yeah.
So how helpful has that been to you?
It's been very helpful. I've had 3 purchases off of that.
Nice.
Yeah. And I was surprised by the first one. I was like, wow, this really works. Cool.
No, not even a follower, just running through and then bam, click, boom.
Yeah, some guy from, I don't know, I don't want to be wrong, but somewhere north,
Yeah.
he bought it, shipped it to him.
Nice.
So yeah, it was dope.
So you ship, I mean, lower 48.
Yeah,
Everything. Nice.
sure.
And One cool thing is I had heard you mentioning, kind of using social media as a tool, not necessarily the Instagrams of the world, but talking about when you build boards, off style, and kind of goes back to whose style you like, but you say, when I see it, I see what I would do different. Tell me your approach to building, because when I design spaces, that's what I do too. I go and I'm just click happy on like, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool.
Yeah.
Let that algorithm start talking to you, right? And then kind of peeling the layers back from the onion, if you will, kind of backwards, right?
Yeah.
Who was that artist that we were talking about that you kind of had a little bit of an inspiration and built that board? Was it Charlie? He was from Lost. Charlie Crockett, right?
Charlie Crockett.
So when you build those, is that for necessarily a style of hat or for yourself or just inspiration?
It's a lot, a mix of it all. Definitely, like if I'm doing photo shoots, or she have a vision board, share with people. So I saw a few of some of his work on Pinterest, and it definitely caught my eye, especially from the Western rodeo style. Given that it was a little bit more classy, a little bit upscale, and very creative.
Yep.
That was definitely a style of my own that I wanted to implement.
Yeah.
So it was kind of back and forthness in both ways.
So you use it as a collaborative tool with clients.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you can kind of say, hey, we can nip this in the bud and see if we're aligned right out of the gate.
Pretty much.
Okay. I love it. And he's got, like you said, that classy, but that 70s, that real grainy film look.
Yeah, cool. I like it.
It's amazing what you can kind of build. And I did that with style of furniture that I was putting in one warehouse where clients go to shoot. I was just thinking like 1920s New York hotel prohibition bar. It's like you almost, you laugh because you just had that whole style click right into your head.
Yeah.
And I love it, man. And so, conceptualizing ideas or looking at direction with social media or with design, are you using any of the artificial intelligence assisted, kind of idea creation or anything yet?
Well, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I will look into. But I could see that coming about pretty soon, because with my brand, I'm taking it on a lot serious than I did when I first started. I didn't have any real expectation for it.
It was a hobby.
It was a hobby.
Yeah.
I wanted to just add value to the people that was coming to me. And I'm a big gift giver, so like any way that I can give, I knew this would be real cool.
Shit, dude, I'd love this as a kid.
Yeah.
Yes, man. And it almost kind of like funded your hobby, right? Because you were like, I want hats.
Yeah.
But the creative side of you said, I'm going to learn how to make my own damn hat.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm that type.
Yeah.
I'm definitely that type where it's like, I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
I've been a carpenter for so long. That's where my architecture background comes from.
There you go.
So it's like, okay, I see how this go.
Yeah.
Let's put it together. I got my friends, we're brothers. Let's go. So yeah.
Let's leverage our our network, right? And then let's involve and make it one big collaborative effort, but watch it evolve.
Most definitely.
We were talking about scaling and everything. I like, the fact that it did start out as a hobby. You can kind of scale how you want at your own pace, right?
Yeah.
What's your outlook on that? I mean, what do you see next? Is it scaling up in volume, or is it scaling in style?
Volume. Style's there. I feel like I've captured enough people who like the style.
Yep.
People starting to really understand this is Reauxmonde, right? But as far as the scale, volume is a thing for sure. wanting to be able to show up in different places. I am displayed in a few locations now.
Okay.
And so hiring someone, like I said, delegation,
Yeah.
definitely looking into that. That is the next step. Because eventually, if I want to open up my own space, personally, I really want to continue to still do photography and work on the brand.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't mind teaching someone how to craft and be creative and do all that and sell.
And so those are challenges of entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
Do they want to let go a little bit of the creativity, or do they want to limit their growth?
Yeah.
And it's a common everyday challenge in that sense, right? And then also you look at, adding body or head count, right?
Yeah.
Where would you see that first head being used? Would it be, is marketing your forte of your own brand, or would you relinquish that, or would you relinquish the making of the hats or the running of the store? Because you've got your architecture, and it sounds like, and I know because I have family that own a whole lot of head of cattle and horses. Those they're not easy to take care of either.
I know. Definitely not.
So where do you see the next phases of the business?
Yeah. Marketing for sure.
Yeah.
Top-notch marketing.
Yeah.
Commercials, more ambassadors, influencers, getting on people's heads, things like that. Yeah, more marketing.
Talk to me about that, man, because I'm interested in that. And with my last company that I sold, it was we were starting to delve in that before we sold, the working with ambassadors.
Mm-hmm.
How does that look? I mean, like, how do you go and seek out, are you seeking out somebody that has the power to tell the good message that you want, or is it you're looking for somebody that has a good network already and can basically say, buy this hat and, staying pure to the form, what would your approach be?
You definitely have to be a little strict with it, because you don't want just anyone in the hat. Just like anybody can be an ambassador, that's cool, but you definitely want people who's going to be pushing it.
Yeah.
So people with good followings, good connections, even if they're not strong on social media, if they're in certain rooms and stuff where they can converse about the product on their hat.
Yeah.
I look for those type of people. I've been around a lot of figures, different type of figures.
Yeah.
I worked at city council, so a lot of those people, or even people in the church, right? So there's
an influencer everywhere.
Pretty much.
And when we were speaking about the Unity band, it's just so fitting because Houston's such a culturally diverse city.
Big part, man.
Part of the reason one of the many reasons I love the city is the food. And food's always brought people together.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go out there and within a 2-mile radius, probably 15 different types of cuisine. Would you see more value local, respected influencer, or are you looking on a national scale? Which would be more up your alley, like tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Yeah. Cool. Let's do this. Who would your ideal partner be on a local level and a national level? Oh, maybe that's a better.
All right. Local level, a chef.
Chef K-Mass. Chef K-Mass.
A chef or a musician. Probably those. And maybe some politician.
Yeah.
And
that just shows the versatility of the hat right there.
Yeah.
You're looking at the arts, the politics, that's I like it.
Yeah. And then I'll probably say on the grand scale, and some big time actors, something like that. So you get them into movies.
Yeah.
They can utilize them in films.
Pharrell's hat game's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't really know this, but back, I mean, dude, back in the day, his hat game was strong. Bruce Willis, you remember his hat game?
Yeah.
He had a good one. I think Pharrell's, he kind of was the one that originated with this uncreased brim, right?
Yeah, so Pharrell's definitely been a culture icon.
Absolutely.
Fashion, and has inspired a lot of different styles. So yeah, for sure.
Nice. So, me picking one out, if I were to call you and just say, all right, I'm heading to Vegas. I've got some good meetings that are coming up with an agency that helps studios like this, but also out for a little fun. I want to do mix and match both. Which one would you say like and throw at me?
I'll say, I always ask this, like how loud you want to talk.
Oh man,
these hats talk. They talk for themselves. They literally see how they sitting here.
Do.
They're talking. They're chattering.
They are.
So,
they are, man.
Like how loud do you want to talk? Because with this one, this is definitely a more everyday.
Yeah,
the mocha.
That's a daily for sure.
And then probably like a navy. You can kind of do a lot with that. It's more of your base. But me personally, I would say this soft white, the shell.
I know. You said that's the personal bag you busted out. No, I love the burlap, the rope. It looks like there's some denim in there. The guitar picks are fire.
Yeah.
This one right here, the blue one, dude, Astro, you called it. Like, that's like, hey, Astro. I'm outside of H-Town. I'm representing.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you can always change the feather or whatever. But yeah,
they're so versatile, man. I'm looking forward to seeing, what's next. I'm really thankful that we got to meet at that event, and as far as just creativity, man, I'm looking forward to seeing where you're gonna go, and so if anybody wants to get at you to start the process or see what you have in inventory, walk us through that whole. Well, you give us your Instagram ads. We're gonna scroll it across, but I want to hear how everybody can get a hold of you.
So yeah, I'll start with say the website will be up by the end of this month. So Reauxmonde.com. And then easy, you can just find us on Instagram. It's Reauxmonde. It's spelled REAUXMONDE. And so you can just check us out, message us, we can get to you.
Get the process going.
Sure.
How the name Reauxmonde come about, bro?
Whoa, Reauxmonde, it's real world in Creole.
I love it.
And
I love it.
I'm a nature guy. I'm an outdoor adventurous person. So it came to me for sure. I read and I saw mind, and when it said world, I was like, that's interesting. So Ro kind of just flowed in with it, and I knew it was very good because I've been talking about wanting to create designs that kind of represent elements of the world, fire, earth, things like that.
Wind, water, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's sort of what you kind of see, given that more natural feel. You can kind of do a lot with it, and it's out in the real world. That's real people wearing real fashion. So yeah.
I love what you'd mentioned about the palms.
Yeah.
The whole philosophy behind that. Touch on that, man, one more time.
So palm is my thing, right? The palm tree signifies so many different things, from longevity to just in the empowerment, of course.
Strength, beauty.
Covering, protection, beauty,
yeah.
Right? Like it's one of the number one symbols for peace, right?
Yep.
And then palms are one of the most longest living plants,
no doubt,
on this planet.
No doubt.
So I mean, that speaks volumes.
And then the ones that grow those young coconuts, they can hydrate you, bro.
Yeah.
It's nectar of the gods.
Yeah. And there's many different species.
Yes, there are.
There's over maybe 5,000 different species of palms.
Y'all get at me, I'll tell you which ones grow in Houston.
Yeah.
And which ones will not.
Yeah.
Because we get those little sparse weekends of cold weather.
Yeah.
But man, the date palm's my favorite.
I love it.
It's just got that that stalk, that bark. That's just like, what's so cool about them too is those guys are artists that can come in, trim it up, give you your sable, the cigar cut.
Yeah.
You know, your palms, you can do some really cool work with them as they grow. Those stalks that have been trimmed, protect it too.
Yes.
Right. And what I love about, I mean, that's art in itself. With these guys coming,
Hit you with something though.
all right, bring it on. Because I was ranting, but it's beautiful, and I get them spruced up like right at spring.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out there just looking at that fresh cut cigar cut on a sable palm. Ain't nothing more satisfying, bro.
I give you this. When you talk about cutting the palms, there are palm hats. Those straw hats.
Oh, hell
got a
yeah,
real
bro.
palm.
Come on.
Just wait. Y'all just wait.
Oh, I'm excited because, dude, you know, it's like what that hat does for you when, say, you're out in Mexico, you're walking the beach, you know, someone makes one up real quick, you put it on, and you have that, and that's just like, it's like part of the joy of the vacation.
Yeah.
And when you take it off, it's sad because you know it's over, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like, I can't take it back with me. I can't just stuff this thing down because I'm going to ruin it anyway. But, dude, yeah, I dig that, man. As far as the other elements, you know, go, because we saw the green in those hats, you know, fire. We talked about that whole process of the hats. And I'll be one of the first that really lets you dig in on the flames and stuff.
Sure,
Let's run a go at it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like maybe in that top part, just right around there. And we're going to follow up. We'll post it on Instagram. So at the end of every one of our discussions, we like to ask 10 questions kind of based on, you know, what your craft is. Quick fire, you know, you can say pass if you don't, you know, but favorite hat style of all time.
New era.
Oh,
Baseball cap.
Oh, yes, man. What's one fashion trend you wish would make a comeback?
Ooh. Pass.
Oh, I thought, you know, everybody else is saying right now the bell bottoms Kendrick was wearing at the Super Bowl.
I like the bell bottoms, but it's coming back.
It is. It's already back. Yeah, most iconic hat in history.
Fedora.
Attaboy. I love it. What's the weirdest or most unique material you've used to ever make a hat?
Cotton.
Okay. All right. Dream collab. Who would you love to make a custom hat for?
The president.
I love it. Biggest mistake people make when buying custom hats?
Saying that their head is too big.
I love it. I love it. If you weren't making hats, what would you be doing? We know that would.
Running a gallery.
Ooh, okay. I love it. Art or photos?
Both.
Love it. What's the one accessory behind or besides a hat that completes the fit?
Oh. I don't want to sound crazy, but swag.
All right. Ooh, that ain't crazy at all. I love it. If you could only wear one hat for the rest of your life, which one would it be? New era?
Baseball cap.
I love it, man. Right on. So, dude, quick fire challenge. That was awesome.
Yeah,
well,
I should have been done better than that.
Oh, I didn't come too difficult. Well, thanks for the time, man. Really loved it. Just so happy that we were able to collab so quickly. Looking forward to doing it again, right?
Man, I appreciate it.
That, dude, Dennis. Yeah. Great meeting you, man. Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon. Awesome, dude.
I should have asked you.